welcome back to the FuturePrint Virtual Summit. We've got a triple header here from the US. We have with us Memjet, Colordyne, and Kao Collins. The title is The Tipping Point for Inkjet. It's about growing your packaging and label business. I'm going to introduce Donald Allred from Memjet, Taylor Butthorpe from Colordyne, and Stephen Buchanan from Kao Collins. Now, over to you, Don. You're going to kick this off.
Thanks. Well, good morning and afternoon. Just a quick thank you, Marcus, for you and your team at FM Futures for arranging this online event and for inviting Memjet to share our progress. Today, we're sharing the stage with one of our OEM partners. We're going to split the discussion into two sessions, with me leading off for a brief overview of Memjet, as well as I'll be discussing some trends and some things we're seeing about innovation in the market as we drive to expand digital printing into packaging. Memjet is an inkjet technology company. So we're dedicated to expanding digital print into a variety of applications. Our advanced inkjet technology is based on MEMS technology that enables us to produce the smallest firing chamber of any inkjet technology. We use this to enable 1600 DPI resolution with high velocity jets that create beautiful precision in a simple, automated, and affordable module. The focus of our company is R&D. Memjet has used these capabilities to create 3 technology platforms, each being designed and optimized to meet the critical requirements of customers in a targeted zone. Our most mature technology is VersaPass. With the capability of printing full color in a single printhead, the technology is targeted at desktop applications and for uses where less than about 5,000 pages per month are printed. Our Duraflex technology extends the capability into light production areas while adopting redundant jets and pigmented inks. And finally, for production print environments, we have our Duralink technology. Duralink pioneered redundant jetting with its 5 rows of nozzles per color, enabled high speed by using 1 printhead per color, and has been designed in a modular fashion to allow expandability up to 2.6 meters in width. Memjet sells print technology to our OEM partners. They then develop printers and presses to meet market needs. Our OEM partners become the face to the customer, managing their needs and helping them achieve their business growth. Our partners are active in commercial, mailing, packaging, wide format, and label printing. And they range from large companies to mid-sized companies and even to smaller specialty companies. But altogether, tens of thousands of Memjet printheads are at work today as we speak in various applications. Now, in a few minutes, Colordyne and Kao will provide you with an update on how they're bringing these technologies into various applications. But first, let me talk a little bit about some trends that we're seeing. The impact of COVID has been substantial in the print market. We've seen a substantial increase in interest from small and mid-sized brands to bring printed packaging into their factory. This provides them with more cost-effective controls and enables them to more easily manage their daily production, especially in a time of uncertain availability of raw materials, the changes of market demand, and the packaging availability, as all of that is needed to produce a profitable factory day. We continue to hear from customers wanting to use their printers and presses to do more, creating the trend for more and different media sets. Sustainability continues to be significant. But now we are hearing more about the ancillary costs of printing that reflect some of our inherent benefits, such as the low power that's needed to drive the jets, or the limited amount of drying that's needed to effectively dry our inks, and of course, the reduction in waste. COVID has created more demand for different food packaging as well. Small shops and bigger brands are asking for the combination of ink and media to enable them to expand their ability to deliver high-value custom goods, both online or via pickup. So yes, the proliferation of SKUs is moving into restaurants. The situation we are in as a world is driving interest into new market applications, and it's creating more and more discussions about innovative solutions. So these market trends, when combined with the pressures of the COVID economy, appears to be enabling a new batch of entrepreneurs for our markets. From the discussions we've had with many of these people, I predict we'll have an exciting series of new and unique products that will be coming to the market shortly. In general, we're going to be moving away from the cost of print and more towards the overall cost of producing and delivering a product to the consumer. With that said, let me pass the podium on to Taylor and allow him some time to share what his company is dealing with and some exciting activities in the industry. Taylor?
Thanks, Don. My name is Taylor Buckthorpe, and I'm the Director of Sales of Colordyne. Before I dig in, I figured I'd give a little bit of background history about myself. I've been working in and around Colordyne for almost 10 years now. I was actually one of the first operators of Colordyne's production class systems, which used the VersaPass print technology that Don mentioned in his presentation. So I have a great knowledge and history in and around the Colordyne systems and the solutions we use the Memjet technology in. And today I'm here to share, a lot about how we're bringing Inkjet into new markets, and really kind of relates back to our main goal, which is to empower businesses through the adoption of inkjet printing. And we're really looking to connect partners to printers, printers to brands, and brands to people. And that's what we're doing here in this industry, is helping companies and businesses grow through the adoption of inkjet. Next slide. As we look at Colordyne previously, over the last 10 years, we've built up what we refer to as our label and tag division. This represents over 550 some installations in 35 countries. We're headquartered in Brookfield, Wisconsin, just west of Milwaukee. And here in our headquarters, we design, develop, and engineer a wide variety of inkjet print engines and printing solutions, which are really broken down into three classes of products, which you can see on my slide here. 1800 series being our entry level, 2800 being our mid-range, and our 3800 series being our more higher end production class solutions. And any of these technologies can be configured into different widths or are available with different ink chemistries, water-based dye, pigment, and UV LED. We really focus on providing scalable inkjet technology for end user applications, and we're really looking to allow users to grow, test, and develop while being respectful of their initial investment in digital. And as we look towards the future, you'll see a company in transition, which is my next slide, where, over the last 10 years, we can look back, and Colordyne previously was more of an integrator, a distributor, a single technology company. We focused solely on the narrow web tag and label industry, and we worked with some brand owners and private labelers as well. But as we look towards the future, we knew we had to grow more of the IP internally. We had to increase our technical knowledge of inks and printhead technology so we continue to advance the engines and technology we offer. And as we look to where we are today, Colordyne Inkjet Innovation really is a different company and mindset. We're focused on developing and manufacturing digital print engines. We're expanding our engineering capabilities and technical competency daily. And we're working with strategic partners to reach more markets. And those would be in new markets like flexible packaging, corrugated, commercial print, and paper converting. And our goal is to understand the demands of the customer and help make the right technology selection with them. And how we do that is through our strategic partner program. And that allows companies to leverage really Colordyne's core competency in inkjet technology. And what they're looking for is a company they can rely on that will help them bring inkjet printing to their platforms or to their customer base. And by working with us, these companies will recognize less risk, faster time to market. They'll minimize their capital investment and maintain their business focus. And this provides easy entry into digital for these press manufacturers or finishing companies that are looking to integrate inkjet into their product offering. It also allows them that safety net. You know, Colordyne is a company that has the knowledge and expertise on the sales and support and back end to really help these companies grow and bring inkjet to their customers. Today, we're working with a wide variety of strategic integration partners that are serving, you know, different markets, both, you know, print markets and geographical markets. But more towards the end of this year and coming into the first quarter of next year, we expect to see some more solutions. And if we go to my next slide, I'll show a couple different solutions that we're bringing to market here with some of our partners. So this is the Chromaplex AP print engine. This uses the Memjet Duralink printhead technology. This would be our higher end pigment system. The image shown there is a 25.5 inch or 648 millimeter. You'll see on this system, we're capable of printing at 1600 by 1585 dpi at 245 feet per minute, and you can lower the resolution down to 580 in the web direction and take those speeds up to 668 feet per minute. If we go to the next slide, I'll explain some of the advantages to this engine technology and also showcase a system that is being shipped out to a customer. This is that same 25.5 inch engine. The real value of the Duralink technology is we can scale all the way out to 12 print heads wide, which provides you, I believe, 102 inches of print width or 2.5 meters. We can also add different colors in the web direction, and you'll see this system is CMYKK. That allows the user, when they're doing black only marking applications, to double their print speed. So in areas where they're just doing monochrome variable data, they can double those print speeds and reach up towards 1,000 feet per minute on their press. If we go into the next technology, which is our Chromaplex LT, this is our mid-range pigment-based inkjet system using the Memjet Duraflex printhead. This platform is available in A4, 8.5 inches or 216 millimeters. And it's also available in A3 plus 12.75 inches, approximately 324 millimeters. This platform, a little bit slower on the speeds, but maintains that same very high resolution that Memjet's known for of 1600 by 1600 DPI. And this nice compact print engine, if we go to my next slide, you'll see my partners at Aero Systems have developed a nice compact roll-to-roll platform where they're producing labels and packaging. We have some customers that are looking at flexible packaging on this machine and kind of the sachets and pouches and things like that. And this product we launched just this summer, so there's actually some good videos online going into more information on the system. Or if you wanted to reach out and speak with Aero Systems directly, you can see their contact information there on the slide. As we go into really how we make this all work, on this slide here, you can see it's really a joint effort between Memjet, Kao Collins, our ink manufacturer, and Colordyne. And it's really better together, your ideas, our technology, and support. And I think that's a great message because it really takes a village in this community to make sure that the technology is the right fit and ultimately the customers get to do what they want to with the technology. Oftentimes those dreams and expectations are big, but with the right core companies working together, those can be achieved. Colordyne's now branching out from the labels and packaging, or the labels and tag space, and now working with strategic integration partners to go into the corrugated space, carton, flexible packaging, and commercial. And it's because of the strong partnerships at Memjet and Kao Collins, we're able to approach those industries with a lot of confidence and deliver some very unique solutions. Where we see a major trend coming is in hybrid inkjet. This is a true story from one of my customers. We have a video of this as well online that you can deep dive into after this presentation. But really what they've identified is hybrid inkjet is really the best of both worlds. I get to leverage flexo and I get to digital, use best about them both to deliver the lowest cost of production. And if we look at the next slide here, you'll actually see a breakdown of this Premio label that I was showing on the previous slide. And what you'll see really is the difference when it comes to plate changes. This was a 7 color flexo job where in the flexographic process, they're changing they're changing 5 plates per SKU change. Those 5 plate changes ultimately equate to downtime. And in the printing space, when you're not printing, you're not making money. So how do we get rid of that downtime and inefficiency of flexo? Well, we bring in the Duralink or the VersaPass printhead technology, and we have that pick up the process color work that's constantly changing SKU to SKU. If you look on the left, you see about 405 minutes total of setup time and changeover time required for the same job. If we move that to the hybrid process, now where the digital print engine is picking up the 4-color process, and we're only changing 1 plate per SKU change, you can see a drop 75%. So less setup time plus less changeover equals greater throughput and potential per day. And we're taking this concept of scalable hybrid inkjet around the world. And one of the partners I want to touch on is actually my partners at Kao Collins. And on my next slide, you'll see we've partnered with them. We've opened up a demo center in Barcelona. So if you're one of our European viewers today, you can actually reach out to Kao Collins and schedule to get in front of a machine and see it firsthand in your market, running, whether that's paper, corrugate. We have different flexibilities, and we can really show you some unique things at Kao Collins as well. And with all that, I'm going to transition over to my colleague, Stephen Buchanan from Kao Collins. Steve?
Thank you, Taylor. Thanks to Memjet and Colordyne for kind of organizing and sharing this platform. As Taylor said, my name is Stephen Buchanan. I'm the business development manager for digital inkjet products at Kao Collins, and let's talk about formulating inkjet inks. So here's a brief overview of Kao Corporation. Our headquarters is located in Tokyo, Japan. You can see here our company profile along with some annual sales figures. One thing I'd like to highlight is that in addition to our presence within the chemicals industry, Kao is also a key supplier of healthcare, beauty care, and home care products. So some brand names you might recognize are Jergens, Biore, and John Frieda. Now let's talk specifically about Kao Advanced Printing Solutions. This group we call Kao APS is focused upon inkjet development, and we are a worldwide organization. Kao Collins is located in the USA, Kao Collins is located in Spain, and Kao Japan is located in Asia. We work together as one entity to provide joint digital inkjet solutions for our customers. And, kind of keeping this in mind, eco-friendliness is also one of our core values, and we take a lot of pride in advancing our chemistries while making a positive impact on the environment. Another thing that's important is innovation. It's a really key factor for us being in the chemicals industry, and we're constantly trying to push the boundaries to make chemistry advancements that are tailored towards the rapidly growing label and packaging markets. Here's a visual of some of the key target markets within the digital inkjet space. As most of you probably know, direct mail, transactional, and marketing coding historically been the bread and butter of inkjet. The obvious one here highlighted in yellow is labels and packaging, which is really the key focus of what we're talking about here today. This market has huge potential, and we expect exponential growth in years, especially now within the COVID-19 era. We're seeing e-commerce is at an all-time high. So demand for these digitally printed labels and packagings is really surging. There's needs for print designs. We're seeing faster lead times that are now forefront. And ultimately, I think this is just brand owners continuing to search for ways to distinguish themselves through customization. Now let's take a quick look at the sales channel value chain. Really like this diagram because it breaks down. It makes it very simple to understand. The ink formulators, Kao is beginning with colorants, and we're manufacturing the digital inkjet fluids. We're then partnering with Memjet and Colordyne to complete the OEM, hardware, and software integration aspects. And together we're jointly supporting the printing company, and ultimately the brand owner is going to get satisfied with high quality digitally printed products to stock the retail shelves. So when Kao IPS, when we approach the digital inkjet formulation process, here are some things that we like to consider. We approach it from a technical performance aspect as well as an eco-friendly standpoint. First, we want to make sure we're using good functional materials that will give us the technical performance we need. Some examples might be colorants for wide color gamuts, surfactants for wettability, components that will make the aqueous inks dry faster. And while doing this, we also want to make sure the materials we utilize are non-hazardous from a health and safety standpoint. Over the many years of formulating, we've gotten pretty good at leveraging our expertise to quickly screen through formulas, and it helps us because we're able to then select which type of chemistry will be most appropriate for a given printing application. More importantly, we also have extensive R&D and quality control equipment in-house to verify some physical properties such as viscosity, pH, surface tension, particle size, and color values. And these physical properties are really critical because when they're carefully monitored on our end as an ink manufacturer, we can find that they'll lengthen the longevity of print heads, and they'll also create a stable printing environment during customers' production runs, which is going to keep everybody happy. Now let's take a look at comparison between dyes versus pigments. So looking at dyes, they're soluble organic colorants. Dyes will struggle with water fastness, and also due to the chromophore structure, they're also more susceptible to with UV exposure. Meanwhile, looking here at the pigments, they have some distinct advantages in these areas. Pigments really have excellent water fastness and light fastness properties. And the reason this is so important for printing companies is because pigments are going to create increased longevity and durability. So ultimately, this means the labeled and the packaged goods are going to have a longer shelf life, and they're going to be more robust. On this slide, we've highlighted two key benefits of using eco-friendly water-based solutions within the packaging sector. The first is high appeal power by customizing designs to lifestyles. And what we mean by this is that brands are evolving. The emphasis on health and safety is higher now than it has ever been in the past. And I think we're starting to see more targeted and regionalized marketing campaigns by brand owners. So the flexibility and customization here is really key. And the second benefit is contribution to sustainable society by on-demand printing. As a society, we're starting to become more conscious of our environment. So eco-friendly solutions are paramount right now. The zero waste and quick turnaround afforded by digital inkjet is very advantageous, and it really makes it a viable long-term solution for these printing companies. We've already gone through some of these highlights and advantages of water-based digital inkjet, but of course it's not that easy, right? There's always going to be challenges associated with anything, and particularly in this instance, it's our job as inkjet formulators to identify innovative solutions. And it seems simple, but the key challenge to water-based chemistries is trying to dry it. So when you look at printing water onto paper, it's really quite simple because there's some penetration taking place. However, when you're looking at films and label stocks, this becomes a lot more challenging because there's no penetration, which means the drying aspect is even more critical. And it's our job, again, as formulators, to find that right balance of pigment polymer dispersions, co-solvents, and surfactants in order to kind of optimize and promote good drying capabilities. Looking at this into a bit more detail, here's a good diagram of CMYK web printer with some intercolor drying stations. When we talk about teamwork and collaboration, this is why it's key right here. You really need to look at the system as a whole. We're looking at print head technology, ink technology, and drying technology. Each of these aspects are equally important, and they really all need to be synchronized in order to achieve success. For example, the print technology controls droplet size and resolution. The ink needs stabilized pigments for printing performance, and the drying technology needs to evaporate the water effectively. And all of these items will ultimately allow printing companies to maximize production speeds, which is really what it's all about. In this last part of the presentation, I'd just like to give some quick background into Kao's pigment nanodispersion technology. You can see here a few images that show polymer design of steric repulsion, electrostatic repulsion, and hydrophobic absorption layer. And this is really just a fancy explanation to say that the encapsulation of the dispersion particles is really important. Ultimately, this generates stable dispersions, which are going to yield an even distribution of the particles onto the label and package films. At this point, maybe you're thinking, why should we care about Kao's dispersions? Well, here's why. All of this complex chemistry is going to yield ink film uniformity. So you'll see here on the left, kind of a rough surface compared to the image on the right, which yields more of a smooth surface. Now, I really want you to focus on the right because this uniformity is key because it's promoting good coloring and gloss balance. And this is essentially what is bringing those printed labels and packagings to life when you see them on the shelf. It's the vibrancy, the colors, the gloss. So, next time you're going through the supermarket, you're going to look at those beautiful print designs on the shelves, and you can think back to this exciting explanation about pigment dispersions and why they're so important. All right, let's wrap things up here by talking about the future of digital inkjet. We've talked about throughout this presentation, teamwork is really going to be the key factor. We've made significant progress across the board, as you've heard from Colordyne and Memjet already, ranging from printhead technology to drying improvements, and then on Kao's side to inkjet chemistry advancements and beyond. I'm really proud of what Memjet, Colordyne, and Kao have accomplished together, and I think the future is looking very bright for digital inkjet. Thank you all so much for your time and attention today.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks to all of you. Actually, it's good message to end on, that collaboration of something which I think is kind of critical, clearly, to success with Inkjet. Have a few questions for you. I'd like to introduce Don back in, really. Don, what are the packaging applications seen as mainly targeted by Memjet? How is Memjet getting ready, really, to drive that innovation?
Okay. Boy, it's hard to pin down and say that it's X application. We are active in all 5 of the major packaging areas. There are active developments going on in the corrugated industry and flexible packaging, labels, cartons, as well as direct to shape. So there are active developments going on which should come to market next year, and people will hear more about them at that time. But I would say that there's some commonalities between all of these. The production printing market across all of those really depends on high reliability and high uptime. And that's something that is inherent in the Duralink technology that we provide. We're also making pretty good strides in those industries as well, moving a little bit down market into the light industrial markets. Now they still demand reliability, but ease of use is even more important there because operators will not be as effectively trained to do things. And this is a lot of where the Duraflex technology plays in. So I think we've got some great technologies in each of those areas.
Brilliant. This is a question perhaps a bit more for Taylor and Stephen. What are the main kind of benefits of choosing Colordyne powered by Memjet for a print provider, particularly in labels and packaging markets? What are perhaps the additional advantages of Kao Collins and Colordyne's partnership?
I'll go ahead and start first. When you look at the benefits of choosing a Colordyne system, especially the ones powered by Memjet printhead technology, it's really the high speed, the high resolution, and the low capital cost. Those are 3 champion statements that we like to speak about when we're talking about our Memjet powered solutions. And with that, you're looking at 1600 DPI. We have solutions that can reach over 600 feet per minute in a standard CMYK configuration. We also have very, very scalable production widths, as I mentioned, going out to 2.5 meters or 102 inches. So it's that flexibility of the solution in the architecture, as well as its, core statements of high speed, high resolution, and low capital cost. And we also have a very advantageous consumable cost model as well that makes the ongoing operation of these systems, very nice for the operator.
Okay, thank you. Stephen.
And if we want to look at, go ahead, Steve.
Go on.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback on, some of Taylor's great points, I think formulation flexibility is really key for Kao, and I think that offers a lot of advantages here for both, really for Memjet, Colordyne, and Kao's customers together. So I think it's our, Kao invests a lot of money each year in our R&D, so I think formulation flexibility and really kind of avoiding the one-size-fits-all model. We like to be flexible, and we really want to tailor inkjet formulations and solutions to each specific customer. So I really think that flexibility is key for us.
Okay.
Well, I think our partnership between Kao Collins and Colordyne, that's part of it. Is Stephen and I working together. It's often that Stephen and I are both meeting with the customer, going through their applications, their markets, what they want to do with the technology. It's not just the machine supplier in the room with the customer. It's the whole team here that's on the phone right now working with the customer and making sure it's a good fit.
Hey, Marcus, if I can just chime in for one other thing. I just want to call out a point that Taylor had passed along earlier. One of the great things about this partnership with them is that they have centralized demonstration and development locations both in Europe and the US. So they've got a fairly broad reach, which also will help many companies.
Yeah, definitely serving the right market and locally as well. That's great. And what about EHS regulations, Stephen? So, will the fluids be Nestle and Swiss compliant?
Yeah, this is a good question. So environmental health and safety is very important to Kao, so we take this part very seriously. Our EHS team works really closely with our R&D chemists to ensure that we're using the appropriate materials. We also attend webinars, so we really keep ourselves updated on a yearly basis to the latest global trends and raw material restrictions. So, the short answer to this is yes, absolutely, we can comply with Swiss ordinance and Nestle guidance for food packaging inks.
Okay, and Taylor, this one for you really. What are you doing to make pigment-based inks available in a wider array of segments for use in labels and packaging applications?
Yeah, we're starting to see customers start to expand into wider widths. So for years, I think everyone kind of saw the 8.5 inch or the 12.75 inch as kind of a standard narrow web labeled and packaging print width. As we're speaking to more customers, we're starting to see customers want to go to that next step, which is that 17 inch, printing, converting, and that's where these run lengths start to get longer. Which it becomes even more important on the performance of the machine, getting uptimes up, the consumable cost performance as well. So as these markets get wider, we're seeing customers that are doing, just longer digital runs, or we're seeing, larger label products, maybe box labels, or as you get into those wider widths, now you're starting to look at kind of the narrow web of flexible packaging in that 17 to 25 inch kind of zone. So we're seeing a lot more label applications coming through, also more durable applications now. With these pigmented inks, we can go into more applications that demand light fastness or water fastness with confidence.
Okay, and while you're there, Taylor, why is the double black CMY double K? Why is that option relevant for these markets?
Yeah, so we had kind of a customer reach out and ask, can we double up and go twice as fast? And we looked at the technology. It was available. It's doable with the technology. And for these customers where, maybe they're doing a flexo job where they're printing at, 500 feet per minute and above, but they want a nice density of black, we can use 2 print heads to increase the density at those lower resolutions by double bumping, or we can use it to increase that print speed and reach speeds well over 1,000 feet per minute. Right now, we're just doing it with the monochrome, but we do have plans and have evaluated looking at it as a process color configuration as well.
And presumably you do that with Duralink and Duraflex, is that right?
Correct. This one is with
Yeah.
Duralink right now. We haven't explored the double bumping with the Duraflex printhead just because it's in that lower speed market.
Okay, cool. And Stephen, are you still there?
Yes.
Cool. Just one final question for you. How are the inkjet fluids validated for commercial usage? What sort of process helps generate the benefits?
Yeah. So the validation process is quite extensive. We take a lot of things into consideration, but we also want to have quick speed to market. And I think that speed to market is key with Memjet and Colordyne. Again, the flexibility we have from a formulation standpoint is really helpful there. But just kind of beginning with the formulation, we're obviously need to analyze some of the physical properties like we kind of talked about in the presentation: viscosity, pH, surface tension, particle size, color value, really all of those things. And we get all of that kind of tailored and dialed in initially on the inkjet formulation side. And then we collaborate with Colordyne and Memjet to really kind of bolster that validation process and run hundreds of liters of ink to really understand some of the advantages of the formulation and really see how it performs on a massive production scale. And that's kind of, I would say, the extent of the validation process. But as you can imagine, we put a lot of time and resources into it to make sure that we have viable chemistries and that the customers are going to be satisfied.
Okay, great. Well, listen, thanks so much, guys. If there's no final comments, I want to thank you for joining us today. It's a really interesting, insightful session, and look forward to hopefully connecting with you in some of the networking sessions. So thank you very much.